Do you ever feel like there just are not enough hours in the day? What if I told you that with just a few simple changes, you can gain over 20 plus hours of time back? I'm gonna share 10 life-changing habits that have given me so much time back, and I wish I had someone to share these habits with me instead of me having to just learn through trial and error. I know how consuming it can feel to feel like you don't have time, and how disheartening it can also feel when you have all these ideas, all these things you want to do, all these things you wish you could do, but you feel like you just don't have the time. These habits have changed my life for the better, and I just know that they're going to change yours too. Last habit that I'm going to share is by far the one that has saved me the most amount of time on average. I'm going to have all the video chapters here, so you know what to expect in today's video. We're going to talk about why time management is important, the 10 habits that I've implemented that have saved me 20 hours per week on a regular basis, easy tools that anyone can use for time management, and of course I'll have a homework assignment so that you can get started. Chapter 1, y'all, okay? We're going to talk about why time management is important. This is like, we have to talk about this, okay? For you to be skilled in managing yourself and your time, you have to be convinced that time management is an actual skill. If you don't think it's a skill, if you don't think it's important for you to know how to manage yourself, then what is the point of even watching a video like this, right? Like, you have to deeply believe that managing your time is a lifelong skill that can only add value to your life. So many of us, including myself, complain, oh, I don't have time to do this. I wish I had the time to go to the gym. I wish I had time to cook. I wish I had time to hang out with my friends. I wish I had time to do this. I wish I could travel. But a lot of times it's not even that we don't have time. Like, we have to be so for real with ourselves. It's how we are managing the time that we have, okay? There's a big difference between not having time and not knowing how to manage the time that you have. And I want y'all to think about this, because I'm about to hit y'all with the stats and the facts, okay? The average person spends 2 to 3 hours per day on social media. That, I don't know, maybe for some people that's alarming. For some people maybe it's like, it's a no-brainer, like it's normal. But for me, when I think about 3 hours per day of my time just spent, you know, literally doing this, that's bothersome, because I'm someone who values the time that I have with my family. I'm someone who values the time that I spend working on like business or creative ideas or YouTube or my podcast. Like, I don't have 3 hours per day to just spend doing this, right? And the average person is doing that. Another stat that was kind of problematic in my opinion is the fact that people spend around 20% of their workday procrastinating. So if you're someone who, let's pull out the calculator, because I'm gonna mess this up, but if you're someone who works an 8-hour shift, okay, y'all can see this, and you're spending 20% of your day procrastinating, that is 1.6 hours. So let's just say that's an hour and a half of your day procrastinating. And if you work 5 days a week, what that means is you're spending 8 hours of that week just kind of, who knows, maybe you're scrolling, or you're just not sure what you're supposed to get done during that day, or you're just talking to people, your coworkers, not really getting work done, whatever, right? Like 20% of your day, that's a good chunk of your day. Basically, you can say out of the 5 days in the week, one of those days you're not working, like at all, you're just procrastinating. The third stat that I thought was kind of crazy is that the average person spends 1 to 3 hours per day spending time on activities that they themselves consider unproductive. So for me, that's maybe something like, again, the social media thing, or maybe it's hanging out with company who you don't really want to hang out with. Maybe it's going out every weekend, Friday, Saturday, when you personally don't want to be, right? And this is kind of, is it objective or subjective? I always mix those two. But like, what I view as unproductive might not be the same for someone else, so you have to factor that in as well. But this is just based on the average person and how much time they believe that they're wasting. So if we just want to go ahead and do some quick math, okay, if the average person is spending 1 to 3 hours per day, let's just even say 1.5 on social media, just like wasting time, and then they're spending another 1 hour per day procrastinating, and I'm doing like the minimum numbers here, and then they're doing another 1 hour spending time on unproductive habits, that's 3.5 hours in their day. And if that same person is doing that 5 times a week, That's 17.5 hours. And I did the minimum based off of all the research and the stats and what's out there. If a person is spending 3 hours per day on social media and they're procrastinating 20% of their day, which was 1.6 hours, and then they're spending a time on unproductive habits for 3 hours, that's literally 7.6 hours in a day. And if I multiply that by 5 days, that's like a full-time job. You know, so it's not that for most of us we don't have time, it's that we don't know how to manage our time. And maybe that's something that wasn't taught to you. I never learned how to manage my time. I didn't have someone to show me how to multitask or how to combine habits into one, or how to save myself time by doing certain things earlier in the day or whatnot. And so it's something that kind of has to be learned or taught to you for it to stick, but that's okay because it can be learned. So I think it's a no-brainer that we have time. It's just a matter of how we manage it. And if you're not sure how much time you're spending, track it. Like, use the notes in your phone, or I don't know, use a planner or use Google Sheets or whatever, get creative with it. But find one thing that you feel like you maybe spend a lot of time on. I think social media is the best example, and actually track it for a day or track it for a week. Actually, I think if you have an iPhone, what is it? I get like screen alerts, screen time, whatever. If you have an iPhone, there's a setting where you can like get that report where it tells you exactly how much time you spent on your phone. So track it just to have an awareness. And let us know down in the comments below. I'm very interested on what kind of time audit you guys do and how much time you're spending, whether it's social media or procrastinating or whatever it is. I love doing stuff like this because I just feel like it helps us like build more of an awareness about ourselves. Like, I'm someone who I want to improve whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's time management or health and wellness. Like, I like to improve the skills that I have, and I like to improve as a person in general. And even though time management is something that I've gotten better at, I still have room for improvement. And so for me, doing a time audit sounds like a great idea. I'm like, you know what, it's time for me to do my own time audit again after like a couple of months of not having really done one. So I'm gonna be in this with you guys. I think we can all agree that having more time on our hands would be great, whether it's time to start a business or a podcast, or maybe just time to hang out with your friends and your family more often, or maybe time for yourself. Maybe you just feel like you don't have enough time for like self-care, or to just relax, or, you know, enjoy the company of yourself. Even to go back to school, or even start a second job, you know, because I get it, times are hard. Like, I work 2 jobs myself as well, and sometimes I'm like, God, I feel like I'm so tight on my time. But then I have to remember, okay, well, what are things that I can cut, or what are tasks that I can double up on to save myself a little bit of that time? So anyway, I'm sure we can all benefit from more time on our hands, which is the perfect transition into chapter 2, which are 10 effective habits that I'm gonna share with y'all. I do all of these habits. These have all personally helped me, and I'm so excited to share them. The lighting got a little bit weird. I had to fix it really quick. The sun is like popping all of a sudden. Okay, so starting with number 10. I do not sleep with my phone next to me anymore. This thing right here, as much as I love this, okay, I love having my phone. I love what I get to do on my phone. Okay, I love this technology, but this is not allowed to be next to me right there by my bed. This is plugged in on the opposite side of my room. When I'm ready for bed, I'm ready for bed. Before, I would sleep like with my phone next to me. I have this like cord right here that I have that is connected to the lighting behind me, and there's an extra plug-in where I could plug my phone. And before, that's what I would do. I'd literally lay my head on the pillow, plug my phone, and then I feel like obligated to like scroll or go on TikTok or go on Instagram. And next thing I know, when I laid down originally, it's 9 p.m. Now all of a sudden it's like 10 o'clock. 10:30, and so I'm wasting time scrolling when I should be sleeping. And then when I do that, I feel like I wouldn't get as great of sleep, and then I wouldn't sleep enough either. Like, I feel like the technology was actually messing with my deep sleep, but on top of that, it was cutting into my like time of sleep, because I wake up at 4 a.m. regardless. Like, that is my time to wake up and go to the gym and to just start my day. So the longer I'm scrolling on social media, the more I'm cutting into my own sleep. So I stopped doing that. Like, when I plug my phone in and I put it on the other side of the room, I feel like I've conditioned my mind into believing, like, when I put my head on the pillow now, that it's straight up bedtime. And then it prevents me from scrolling and wasting all that time. So that is something that has worked for me. Some people might not feel like they want to do that, they don't have to. If that doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it. But I will say that it is such good discipline to be able to plug away from your phone and to be able to train yourself that when it's bedtime, it's bedtime. Because I know I'm not the only person who was suffering from lack of sleep, and I like highly attribute it to the fact that I would be on my phone before bed. And now that I plug my phone on the opposite side of the room before I go to sleep, like when I lay down, I literally go to bed right away. So, and now I save myself like 45 minutes to 60 minutes per night. Because like I said, I would lay down, like that's my nighttime routine, is lay down around 9 p.m. But when I'm on my phone, I'm literally on until like 10:30. So I'm on my phone for a minute, right? But now when I lay down, I don't know, it takes me like 10-15 minutes to fall asleep. Like, I don't know, I close my eyes and I feel like I pass out. So I'm saving, let's calculate it. I'm saving, let's just say I fall asleep by like 9:15. I'm saving like 45 minutes minimum, because before I would fall asleep at like 10 just playing on my phone. I don't use an alarm every single day. I only use my alarm Monday through Friday. So Monday through Friday, I'm saving 45 minutes per night. And I'm just going to calculate that by 5 days per week. So that's 225 minutes divided by 60 minutes to account for the full hour. So 3.75 hours per week that I'm saving. Okay, and I'll add up all the math here by the time we get to like here by the time we get to habit 1. Yeah, and it's just been great. I love it. I highly recommend having like that kind of discipline to just be away from your phone. Like bedtime is important, sleep time is important. That's that. Number 9 is I use one alarm, okay? If you're someone who's using 6 alarms, okay, talking about 5 a.m., 5:05, 5:10, 5:15, 5:25, 5:30 a.m., let me just ask you, why? Why do you still have that many alarms? Why do you not just have one alarm? My alarms used to be so insane, disgusting, just like 10, 15 even. Like I just would not want to wake up. And so my mentality was, okay, if I have like these 10 alarms, there's a good chance that I'll wake up by the first or second one, but just in case, for sure I'll be up by the 10th one. And you know what's funny is you always end up being up by the 10th one, right? Because you know that's the last alarm. There's a little bit of like pressure and like that like accountability from having a 10th alarm, right? Because the mentality is like, I have to wake up by this 10th one. But my question is, why can't you do that with why can't you do that with just the one alarm, right? When I asked myself that, I was like, wait, this almost gives me more pressure, because now instead of having 10 opportunities to wake up, I got one. I literally have one opportunity to wake up, and that's at 4 a.m. So I've conditioned my mind to listen to that damn alarm when it goes off, because if you don't, you missed your chance to go to the gym. Now you might wake up at 6 a.m. and then you only have like 30 minutes to like really like get ready for the day before you start work. And then I tell myself, like, you know how much you dislike feeling rushed to like get signed on for work. I hate feeling rushed. For me, I have one chance, it's to wake up at 4, and I wake up at 4 because that is the only alarm that I have, and I save myself time. Because before, when I would have all those alarms every 5 minutes, my last alarm I think was like 4:45 a.m. What is that? What is that 45 minutes, right? I've given myself that back now that I wake up on the time I am supposed to. So for the 5 days per week that I'm waking up 45 minutes early, so I'm doing the 45 minutes times 5, it's the same as the other one. It's 225 minutes per week, and I'm dividing it by 60 minutes so we can calculate the full hour. It's 3.75 hours. So between just sleeping with my phone away and only using one alarm, I literally save over 7 hours per week. Just those 2 habits. So you can ignore even the rest of the habits mentioned in this video, and if you take these two are so important. If you take these 2, putting your phone away from you and literally using one alarm, maybe 2, I'll give y'all 2, okay, maybe giving 2 alarms, you save yourself so much time when you look at like how much time it adds on a day-to-day basis. Habit number 8, super easy y'all, is just getting my gym clothes or even work clothes ready the night before. When I do that, it just saves me the like mindless staring at my closet trying to figure out what I want to wear. And on average it saves me like 10 minutes per day. Like if I can just do it at nighttime, because I'm still awake, my mind is thinking clearly, it's easy to pick out my outfit, versus first thing in the morning it's like I feel still groggy and it's like, what do I want to wear, what day is it, that kind of mentality. So doing that on average, that's just 1 hour. It saves me 1 hour a week because I work out 6 days a week, so it's nice to just do it at night, have it ready to go. Habit 7 for me has Habit 7, I'm over here holding up 9 fingers. Habit 7 has to do with meal prepping. So I started meal prepping similar meals. So I might do a recipe that has potatoes, and then I might do another recipe that also has potatoes. And then I might do a recipe that, I don't know, uses like some like assortment of like tomatoes and jalapenos and onions, and then the other recipe will have similar ingredients. I like to prep recipes now that use similar ingredients because it just makes like cooking in the kitchen so much faster. Like before, I would meal prep on Saturdays and it would literally take me like 6-7 hours to meal prep, and now I got my time down to like 4 or 5 hours. So I've chopped off like 2 hours of my total cooking time because I'm making similar meals, which is nice because it's still different meals. I'm not eating the same thing every day. It's just similar ingredients, right? So it still keeps it fresh, it still keeps it fun, it still keeps it new, but it works for me because it's also saving me time. So we're just gonna say that saves me about 2 hours per week. Habit 6 has to do with multitasking, kind of different chores in a way, because I'll cook and I'll also do laundry at the same time. So while I'm like prepping my food, I'll put a load in the washing machine and then continue prepping, because like I said, I'm in the kitchen like 4 or 5 hours, and so I have enough time in between cooking to go back and like take clothes out of the washing machine, throw it in the dryer, and by the time all that's done, that's 2 hours, right? Like we know laundry takes some time to do a load. You're waiting for it to wash, then you're putting it in the dryer, waiting for it to dry. I don't have time 2 hours on the weekend to just wait around for laundry and just be waiting for that. I'd rather at least combine it with something I'm already doing in the kitchen, and the laundry room is like right next to the kitchen, so it's even more convenient. And so it doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing. What are other chores, you know, at home that you could be doing, that you could be combining? Maybe it could be a good time to quickly check your emails, get back to whoever you need to get back to, or maybe you can really quickly do like your to-do list or make like your weekly chores, whatever it is. But there's just ways that you can multitask certain things. If you're doing one thing and you're waiting, do the other thing. Habit 5 just has to do with daily cleaning. So every day, 5 to 10 minutes minimum, I try to clean something, whether it's my desk or vacuuming my room or cleaning out some dishes, like some Tupperware from food that I prepped if there's food that like I didn't eat. Like I just try to find something to clean so that I don't have to spend an entire hour cleaning on the weekend. And if that's not something that you're able to do, because like with me, for example, I work from home 3 out of the 4 days that I work, because I do 4-10s, and so it's easy for me to like use one of my breaks. Like I'll use one of my 10-minute breaks to like TD up a little bit. If you're someone who doesn't work from home, that's okay. Maybe you can wake up 10 minutes earlier, I don't know, or maybe you can start your nighttime routine 10 minutes later, essentially, so that you can have 10 minutes to clean in between. But it's just about how you might manage your time. I know this might not be something that works for everyone. I get that not everyone works from home, and I'm grateful that I can, because it helps with the cleaning part. But again, this is just like an hour of my week. Like the bulk of the time that we've talked about right now that's being saved is through sleeping away from phone and by using one alarm. Number 4 is just planning out your week. So for me, on Mondays, I spend 30 minutes. Yes, I'm spending time, but I spend 30 minutes and I plan out the entire week. This includes what I'm doing during my work days, but it also includes my weekends as well. What day am I gonna, spend time with family? What day am I gonna use to do YouTube? What day am I gonna use to do my podcast? What day am I gonna use to do Amazon or Uber or whatever? And doing that lets me just see, okay, like I know on this day I'm gonna do this thing and I'm gonna get this task done. That's it. I don't have to think about it after that. And that's where that whole procrastination thing comes into place, right? Like if you don't have a plan, there's so much potential and room for procrastination and mindlessness and just kind of wondering, what should I do? And then when you don't know what to do, it's like, let's play around on my phone and kill time. So like doing a weekly planning, spending just 30 minutes on average actually gives me back like an hour. And it's probably more than that. I've tracked this like twice, this specifically, where it's like, how much time do I spend just like wondering what I need to get done. The couple times that I've tracked that, it's about an hour of me just not knowing what the fuck I should be doing. So me planning out my entire week ahead saves me time. So if you're someone who struggles with procrastination, a planner might be your bestie. You can do a digital one. You can make one on your phone. Like, I feel like there's probably an app built for phones anyway that's like for planning, like a planner, digital planner. So anyway, a planner might be your bestie. I would recommend getting one. Number 3, I feel like it's kind of interesting. I haven't really seen other creators talk about this specifically, but of the 6 days that I work out, 2 of them I like to work out at home. And I do that because A, it's just nice to be able to roll out of bed and like work out outside in the backyard or whatever, but B, it's because it saves me time from the commute. Like, it takes me 15 minutes to get to the gym one way, 15 coming back, that's 30 minutes. So the fact that I don't go to a physical gym twice per week, boom, that gives me an hour back of my time. And it's kind of nice because I don't like being in traffic all the time, and I also don't like driving all the time. There's some days where I'm just like, I'd rather just not, especially in the winter. Number 2, speaking of the gym, is I love reading in the sauna. So the days that I am in the gym, I just grab my little book, I'm in the sauna, I'm relaxing. It's like a little bit of self-care time, but I'm also reading, which is great because then I don't have to do it when I go home. Granted, I don't read every single day, but I like to read every single week at least a couple times. And so the days that I read in the sauna, I'm reading like 20 minutes at least, so I'm saving close to an hour. I do that 2 to 3 times per week. So multitasking. If you're someone who goes to the gym and you also like the sauna, maybe the sauna time can be where you plan out your week or your day, or where you check your emails. I don't know, but you can multitask. The point is like thinking about what are tasks that I do that I can like, there's a term for it, I don't remember what it is, but where I can like double up on the task, where I can do one thing and another and it not be too much brain work, right? Because being in the sauna and reading is not a lot of brain work. So what are those things that you can combine? And the last habit, number 1, my favorite, y'all, hands down, this is the one that has saved me and continues to save me the most amount of time, and it is not sponsored, y'all. It's Screen Zen. This app, I'll show you guys. I'll do like a little video a video, whatever, recording so you can see it. Oh my god, I love Screen Zen. So when I went in there the first time, it basically lets you pick the apps that you want to like monitor your social media time usage and where you want to limit it as well. So it's kind of those 2 different things. I love it. I did it for Facebook, I have it for Instagram and TikTok. It's just those 3. I don't really care to check Facebook. That's not really where I spend time. It's really Instagram and kind of TikTok. So on my app, I set it up so that I only want to check these apps. I believe I put 7 times per day for like 6 minutes each. And I don't use all that time for Facebook, but I usually use it up for TikTok and for Instagram. But I just love it because it shows me like, wow, I have my timer for 7 minutes, and after 7 minutes, it literally kicks you out. So if you want to go back into Instagram, you literally have to go back into the app, open it, which by the way, you can put like in the settings how much time you have to wait before the app opens. So for example, I'll click on Instagram, but it's not like that instant gratification where Instagram opens right away. I have my setting for it to be 10 seconds. So I click on Instagram and then I'm waiting literally for 10 seconds before the app unlocks, and then after 7 minutes it literally will kick me out. And after I've done that for 7 times, it's like, wow, I've checked Instagram for 49 minutes? Like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And so I love it because I put the number that I feel it, resonates with me. I don't want to be on my socials more than an hour and a half per day. Before I was on it for like 3 hours per day. And that time, what's crazy is like it adds up, believe it or not. When you're on social media, that time just goes by so fast, and before you know it, it's like, damn, it's been an hour. Damn, it's been 2 hours. If you're doing that twice per day, that's literally like 4 hours of your time. For me, more than an hour and a half is too much. I think it's okay to be on socials. Like, yeah, of course, like you want to check in, you want to see what's going on, whatever. I do enjoy being on socials, but like as a person who personally values being self-employed, who personally values wanting to travel more, who wants to save more, I recognize there are certain things that I have to do on a day-to-day and a week-to-week, and it's hard to do those things if I'm spending 2, 3, 4 hours a day on social media. It's just, unacceptable for me. So an hour and a half per day social media maximum, and that has actually saved me an hour, because before, like I said, I was on like 2.5 hours, 3 hours per day. So the fact that I save, let's just say on minimum, an hour per day times 7 days, that's 7 hours a week. So again, like between the whole alarm thing, using one alarm, between putting my phone away from me and the social media, tracking my social media and limiting my usage, that's like how many? That's like almost 20 hours, right? The first two were both 3.75 hours. So between the first two, that's 7.5, right? Plus the 7 hours from tracking my or limiting my social media usage. Those three things alone save me like 15 hours a week. So to be honest, forget what I said earlier about only taking the first two things. Take the first two and take the last tip and get yourself 15 hours per week back, or more, I don't know, or less, depending on if maybe you were using social media less than me or more, I don't know. But the point is, y'all, we have time. We literally have time. It's just how we're using it. So let me know down in the comments below, which of these habits have you tried? Or if there's one that you're like, oh, I haven't thought about that, I really want to try it. I would love to know. I would love to hear from you. So let's move on to chapter 3, which is going to be a pretty quick chapter. I just kind of wanted to share some tools that anyone can use to help themselves manage their time. The first one is Google Calendar. Any one of us can use Google Calendar. All you need is a Gmail account, and when you're in your Google Calendar, I'll do like a little video so you can kind of see how I plan out my month. Maybe I'll share like a snippet of what November is gonna look like, but it's really cool because you can color code, you can categorize things, you can like block your calendar, you can even just put stuff in there like self-care or me day or whatever it is. Like, you can use your calendar the way that you want. You can add reminders, you can do like a little alarm. I just love it because it's a free tool and it's nice to keep yourself organized and like on track, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot that I have to do. I work a full-time job. I'm also an aspiring, YouTuber who's like making videos, and a podcaster who does a weekly episode, who also wants to be like self-employed. I have an online store. Like, there's so much that I do on top of making time for family and to socialize. So I need a calendar. I couldn't do anything if I didn't have something to keep myself like on track. I would say Google Calendar is probably really good for those of you who don't really care for like a physical planner, but if you are someone who does, if you feel like you just need something in your hands, then maybe a physical planner is better for you than like a digital calendar like Google Calendar. I actually use both though. I like using my planner for work related stuff, and I like using my Google Calendar for like outside work stuff. So it's all on how you want to organize yourself. For those of you who are more like on the go, who don't really like feel like having anything on them, baby, use your phone. I love Apple. I'm not really sure how Android is, like if it has a good like notes section, but I'll show you guys. So I just opened up like my notes section, and I'm just gonna say, I'll just put like to do, right? So I have like the to do. Hopefully you guys can see that, but you can like change the title and stuff. Like if you click on, I'm trying to see, oh, and now it's like reflecting my camera. If you click on the like AA button, you can like format all of this stuff here. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll just do like a screen recording. I'll explain what I'm doing and I'll do a screen recording. But you can like, here, let's actually start from scratch. Let's do this. Okay, so you can go in. I'm just doing what I'm gonna show you guys. I can like play around with the heading. Like I can italicize it, or I can do like different styles and stuff. I don't know, but let's just leave this like that. And then you can do like a little bullet list. So I can go back here, do a bullet, and then maybe I just say record YouTube. Ooh, we don't need all caps now. Record YouTube video, edit video, draft podcast episode, right? Like you can like make this list look pretty nice. And then I don't know, if I want to like say I want to go here, let's go, oh, I don't want that. Let's go back here, and then let's do, oh, here's the thing, you gotta like, it's a little picky. I can say draft podcast episode. Maybe it's like the first thing I need to do is research, and then if I go back here, I can like do that way it's like connected, right? So like here we're all in the same thing, draft a podcast episode, research, look into hashtags, I don't know, or keywords. And then maybe it's scripting, right? And then recording and editing, right? So I can like, it's almost like a, what do they call it in school? Taking these type of notes, Cornelius notes. I don't remember if that's what it's called, but anyway, like, what an easy way to like organize myself, right? In my phone. I don't even need necessarily an actual digital planner. I can just use my phone. I guess this is digital, but I don't need a physical planner if that doesn't work for me. So this is just one way that you can organize yourself and manage yourself by just putting what you need to do somewhere. And then the last thing I want to say is definitely to use ScreenZen. Do whatever is going to help you based on whatever your goal is or whatever amount of time you want to spend on your apps if you decide to download ScreenZen. But yeah, that is a time management tool that has significantly helped me the most, truly. So I know I kind of already touched a little bit on homework because I mentioned ScreenZen, but before we move on to the last chapter, give this video a like. That helps out your girl. It helps this YouTube channel very much. So if you found value in anything shared so far, please take a second and like the video. That also really shows me that this content is valuable, and it gives me an idea on what kind of topics I should, you know, continue talking about. Okay, let's get into chapter 4, which is all about homework. So do a time audit. And what I mean is track how much time you're spending. Pick whatever habit you want. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's like really nitty-gritty and you just want to focus on Instagram. Track how much time you spend on Instagram. Or if it's the procrastination, if you feel like you just every day you're just kind of wandering around like, what do I need to do? Track that. And like, what I mean is the second you remember, like the second you're like, oh, what should I be doing, what should I be working on, and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to track this is me procrastinating. Look at the time, right? Like write down, okay, it's 3:53, and don't put like too much pressure. Like don't try to force yourself to then find something to do. Like let it be natural, but see how long it kind of takes you to figure out what you should be doing, and then that's the time that you keep either in your phone or write it down somewhere on a sticky note or on a Google Doc. I don't know, but whatever habit that you particularly feel like you're struggling with or you're wasting the most amount of time in, that is going to be what you track. And don't overwhelm yourself. Don't sit there and try to track 5 different things. That's going to be very overwhelming. Do the one that maybe you feel you waste the most time in or that means the most to you. And you're just going to spend a week doing that. Do it for a full week just to like really get a good feel, like on days that you work versus days that you don't, or days you go to school versus days you don't, or whatever it is, right? Just to get like a full picture of what a week looks like for you. And then in the second week, figure out what type of strategy or tool that you're going to use to help yourself with this habit. So if social media is the thing that you really want to focus on, maybe you download ScreenZen. And again, it's not sponsored. I'm literally like promoting them because I love this app so much. But maybe you use ScreenZen and, you know, input your settings, like however many times you want to be spending time on your socials and whatnot. And yes, ScreenZen will track it for you, but I would also say to track it yourself too, just so that you have a little bit of that power and kind of like seeing how much time you're really spending. And then after the second week ends, reflect on how it went. Did you save time on average, even if it was only 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Like, how did it go? How did that tool that you used, whether it was Google Calendar, ScreenZen, alarms, even if it was a different tool that you found on your own, how did that work out for you? And did you save time? Like, what was like a highlight of the week, or what is something different that you want to try in the following week? But it's so good to like give yourself time to reflect, especially anytime that you're trying something new, right? Because it's like, how is it going? How are my efforts coming along? Like what are the results of these new things that I'm trying? And the final thing is to share down below in the comments. I would love to hear what new habit you're working on, how it went, how your time audit went. I would just love to hear from you guys. So that is all that I have for you guys in this video. Thanks for sticking around and watching till the end. I really hope that these 10 habits work for you. I hope that if there's even 1 or 2 things that deeply resonated for you, that you find so much success. I have found tremendous amounts of success with these habits. I really do believe in them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it with a friend. The next video that I post is going to be all about transforming your life with feminine energy. So if that's a topic that you're interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the notification when that video is live. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.